My girlfriend invited her work husband to our Valentine's dinner, saying he was feeling lonely. At first, I thought she was joking, because who brings another man to a romantic dinner meant for two? But when I saw how serious she looked, something in my chest tightened. I didn't want to start a fight, so I kept my voice calm and simply asked why. She shrugged and said she felt bad for him, that he didn't have anyone to spend the evening with. When we arrived at the restaurant, I immediately noticed how comfortable they were together. They laughed at inside jokes I'd never heard before. He complimented her dress in a way that felt too familiar, and she smiled at him with a softness that made my stomach twist. I kept reminding myself that I was overthinking, that she was mine, and tonight was supposed to be special. But every time they exchanged a glance, I felt like a stranger at my own table. As the waiter poured our drinks, he asked if we were celebrating anything special. Before I could say a word, her work husband jumped in and said, "These two are basically married at work." She laughed, but I didn't. Something about the way he said it felt rehearsed, like a line he'd used before. My girlfriend brushed it off and squeezed my hand as if that tiny gesture could erase the growing discomfort inside me. Throughout the meal, he kept bringing up little stories. From the office, how she supported him on tough days, how she always knew how to make him smile, how lucky he felt to have her around. I listened quietly, feeling like each sentence was another reminder that there was a part of her life I didn't fully know. She insisted it was harmless, that he was just dramatic, but nothing about it felt harmless to me. At one point, she excused herself to take a phone call outside. The second she walked away, the man leaned back and smirked at me. He said, "You know, you're lucky she chose you. She talks about you a lot, though sometimes I wonder if you appreciate her the way she deserves." His tone wasn't friendly, it was territorial. That was the moment I realized this wasn't loneliness. It was competition disguised as innocence. When she returned, the mood at the table shifted. She noticed the tension and asked if everything was okay. I told her we'd talk later, but she didn't like that answer. She kept pressing, but I didn't want to cause a scene. I could feel her growing irritated, maybe even embarrassed, but I was too drained to care. I finished my meal quietly, observing how she immediately tried to lighten the atmosphere, for him, not for me. By the time we left the restaurant, she was frustrated. She said I'd been rude, that I'd made him uncomfortable. I wanted to laugh at the irony. Instead, I asked her a simple question. Why did his comfort matter more than mine on our Valentine's dinner? She didn't respond right away. Her silence was louder than any answer she could have given. When we reached the car, I told her honestly how I felt, how bringing another man to our romantic dinner crossed a line, how his comments were disrespectful, and how she didn't once defend me or set boundaries. She insisted I was exaggerating, that it wasn't a big deal. But the more she defended him, the clearer it became that the emotional line had already blurred. That night, I slept on the couch, not because she asked me to, but because I needed space from the confusion and disappointment swirling in my mind. Every time I closed my eyes, I replayed the dinner, her laughter, his smirk, their closeness. The pieces just didn't fit the picture of a healthy relationship anymore. The next morning, she tried to act normal, as if nothing happened. But I wasn't the same. I asked her directly if there was anything going on between them. She hesitated. That hesitation told me more than any confession would have. Even if nothing physical had happened, the emotional connection was already there. I told her that if she wanted to keep this relationship, the boundaries had to be clear and firm. She needed to decide whether I was her partner or just another person in her orbit competing for her attention. After a long silence, she admitted she'd gotten too close to him without realizing it, but apologies couldn't erase the way I felt that night, the way I felt replaced at my own dinner table. In the end, we didn't break up immediately, but the relationship changed. I wasn't angry anymore. I was aware that love needs respect, not excuses. Aware that loyalty isn't proven on anniversaries or Valentines dinners. It's proven in small moments, like choosing your partner's peace over someone else's loneliness. And most of all, aware that sometimes the real test of a relationship isn't betrayal, It's how easily someone lets another person into a space that should have belonged only to you.